Frosted Blake's here with the Double A Fantasy Football Podcast. AJ's on the other side of the mic. We have football tonight. I'm very excited about it. I only have one person. I have some Daryl Henderson shares, but not much else other than that. AJ, who do you have playing tonight? How's your night going?
It's going. These kids are driving me and my wife crazy. But football's here, right? It's literally right where I'm looking right now. I can see it happening as we do this. So even while we're working here, we're still working and working. I have lots of players tonight. 4 leagues. I've got a couple Gabe Davis shares. I've got a Diggs, a Josh Allen, Cam Akers, Allen Robinson. Somebody else.
Who are you the most nervous about?
Probably Akers, maybe.
Yeah.
Just because, but really not. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Gabe Davis comes out and has 3 catches and does absolutely nothing, and the hype was for no reason.
I mean,
but I just can't imagine that.
Good.
Gabe Davis had 35 catches last year, and or what was it, 30? I don't remember. I don't remember the stat. I heard it earlier today. It was just like an absurd amount of touchdowns on a very little amount of catches. So I'm excited for him because he's actually going to be on the field a lot. Oh, I have Dawson Knox too.
A big Bills guy.
Why not? I like every single part of a good offense. Please, I'll take it all.
So we have the news, and then we're going to give our predictions and break down week 1 from the front side of the games. In the news, the hottest topic is probably that CMC was put on the injury report with a shin cut or something of some sort, which I think is hilarious that they did. They threw him on there to freak everybody out, and it was really just like he probably, I don't know, maybe needed 1 stitch in his leg. Who knows?
It's probably a bruise.
Probably. Still, Emmanuel Sanders retired.
Yeah, good career.
Did he go back to the Broncos and then retire?
To retire? I don't know.
Officially a Bronco?
I don't know.
Most players do that.
Is that where he should retire, though? When I think of Emmanuel Sanders, I think of the Steelers.
Yeah.
But he's more of like a journeyman in general, so I don't.
Right.
I could see any team, but
did he win a championship with the Broncos, though?
Yeah, Super Bowl 50.
Right.
So if you want to put that cap on him, Josh Allen really making things easy right now. His first play of the game was a pass to Diggs, and he's run for a first down as well. You love to see it.
Nice. Speaking of the Bills, Dawson Knox signed a deal to keep him in Buffalo for another 4 years. Good for him. He deserves it. He's kind of like good in every way, blocking, catching.
Yeah. It's low volume for him, but big red zone guy, touchdown guy.
Brian Robinson's knee swelling has gone down significantly.
Good.
He got shot, I thought, in the buttocks.
No, he got shot like 4 different spots up and down his leg.
Well, I'm glad his knee's doing okay.
Yeah, that's good news. Even if you're like a terrible human being who just puts fantasy ahead of everything and you own Antonio Gibson, it's still good news, even if he comes back.
Yes, agreed. So I did not know this. AJ was telling me Godwin sat out 2 practices in a row, and he's talking now like he's not going to be able to play week 1.
Chris Godwin, yes. So with that said, if he does not play, Mike Evans skyrockets, I think, just in DFS alone, because you're already starting Mike Evans. But Russell Gage becomes playable. Absolutely.
Julio.
1,000%. I prefer Gage way over Julio.
Really?
Way over.
I don't.
Julio he's going to be playing like a big red zone role. Gage is going to play Godwin's role.
Do we know that's what's happening with Julio, or have we all just tried to manifest that?
Well, he's not going to do anything else. He's not Julio of old. Like, he can't do what he used to do. He's an outside receiver. He's not going to play the slot. That's where Gage is going to go.
Right.
So that's where Brady throws. Godwin is his number 1 target.
So Lamar Jackson
before we move on, would you play Julio over Russell Gage?
Yes.
I wish we did bets on here, like where we kept track of them, so we could back our stuff.
If only we had a betting guy.
Yeah. I mean, if no Godwin, I would bet that Gage outscores Julio by
I think isn't
8
Gage
to
coming
10.
off of an injury though?
Yeah. So is Julio the whole year.
Always, yeah.
What are we talking about?
I just don't think it's. I don't.
Gage
think
in a
it's
PPR
surefire.
format, he'll have 8 catches and 80 yards if Godwin does not
Do
play.
you have a sticky note? Write this on. Put it on your computer. So next show.
This does go on the internet, so if I need to, I can go back and listen.
No, but are you gonna remember to bring it up? I'm thinking.
That's a good point. Yeah, I will.
That's why sticky note.
What are you saying Gage has? Just so we can. I can't just be out here on a ledge.
I was just gonna say that Julio had more points than Gage.
Oh, okay. I'm with that in full
Yeah.
PPR.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. We got it. Now I have investment in the Bucks game.
All right. Lamar Jackson. He said that we hope to see him in a couple of weeks.
Who's him?
J.K. Dobbins.
Big
Talking
Dobbs.
about J.K. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm nervous about J.K. in general. Before Lamar said this,
Yeah.
This doesn't help. But I'm very. There's a lot of players that are like this. Like Godwin was one that we kind of thought coming back too early. J.K.'s another.
Michael Thomas.
Thomas, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
There's
he's
a
coming
lot
back
of that this year.
late.
Like main fantasy guys who are coming off of, injuries last year. I mean, if you really want to break it further, McCaffrey and Barkley.
Yeah.
I
thought there was another receiver I can't think of.
That's like battling injury.
Yeah, that's hurt and coming.
Oh,
Godwin.
You said Godwin.
Not Godwin. Sorry, Gallup, the other G.
Touchdown, Gabriel Davis.
Look at that.
He's going to have 13 touchdowns this year. I'm just saying for his number.
I'm playing against Allen Robinson, so
I have Josh Allen and Gabe Davis.
Do you have it in a stack?
No, I have Diggs and Allen stacked.
That's pretty good. All right, shall we jump into week 1? It is Saints at Falcons.
It's already begun.
Yeah. We talked about the Bills at Rams already, so we're going to move right into the Saints at Falcons.
Although we can put Bob's bets. He did. It's not for this show, but we'll just let you know because we are obviously live casting here. Bob put, I don't know how much, but he's taking the Rams money line. I think it's plus 110. I don't know if he was serious about his amount. I don't think we need to share the amounts on here anyway, so...
No,
he likes the Rams money line. Sure. Well, no, let's save it for the end. That's how we always do it.
The end?
Yeah, let's do it at the end. Yeah.
All right. Make sure you guys listen.
Yeah, we do have Bob's bets, so stick around for the end. Or if you just stick around.
Game 1 we got here, Saints at Falcons. I'm thinking the Saints are going to win this. I think it could be a tough game because it's divisional. That's how those things always roll out. Falcons might look decent, but...
I'm thinking Atlanta's defense is definitely underrated. Their corners are actually pretty good. AJ Terrell and who's the other one? Casey Hayward Jr. They usually lock up pretty well, but I'm with you on the Saints.
With them being good, I'm not really relying on anything outside of Pitts for the Falcons yet. Mm-hmm. Patterson I could see playing, but again, he's going to be stifled by the Saints. Drake London's a flyer. I don't know.
I was going to say, at this point, for me anyway, I would only trust Patterson and London as flex plays, and I do trust London as a flex play. Flex plus, really, because I think he has some weeks wide receiver 1 type, like a top 12, top 15 wide receiver finish. But most weeks he's going to be flex wide receiver 3, at least until we see it consecutively. But yeah, you're absolutely trusting Pitts. It's a tough matchup for him, but I don't think that ever is going to matter for Pitts.
Right. Other side of the ball, Alvin Kamara should destroy things. I kind of wonder, though, if we see a little bit more passing just to showcase Jameis and what they have going on.
Yeah, I guess
we haven't really seen it.
Depends on the game script. I think they will still run. Atlanta 4th worst versus running backs last year.
Right.
You skipped over Jameis, our boy Jameis. I think he's really good for
I didn't
streaming.
skip over him. I said they're going to showcase him.
Well, yeah, you started with Kamara. My bad. But yeah, Atlanta was second worst versus quarterbacks last year, fourth worst versus running backs. I think Jameis is a great play in like DFS if you're looking for a cheaper quarterback option. Break
Yeah,
down the wide receivers for me.
for the Saints.
Yeah.
You want my order or do you
Just
want?
what you think about them.
Okay, Michael Thomas scared. I think he's going to be if he's in the game. I'm scared. He might be too. I don't know. I think that if he's in the game, we're looking at like 60 yards and maybe a touchdown. Like I don't. I think they're going to work him back in. I hope they're not. I hope he's like full go, but who knows? Landry's going to be fine on PPR side. Could see him having 6 to 8 catches probably. And then Alave, I don't. He's the hardest one for me to point. I kind of am fine, like if you want to play him. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I think he is purely like a Monroe St. Brown, where the second half of the year is where you'll see him.
I have Michael Thomas as a solid wide receiver 2 play. Landry as a flex and Olave as a dart throw in DFS if you prefer that.
Well,
Ooh, that's something you don't like seeing on your screen. Darrell Henderson starting for the Rams.
oh man, I got some shares of him. I didn't play him, but it's just good
Yeah.
to know.
McVay telling the truth for once?
You want to see the 50-50 at that point then. So Akers and Henderson both
Yeah,
touch
I
it.
mean, if they start Cam slow out of the gate, I get it, but I think he eventually takes over the backfield. I don't believe they're going to split.
So we both have the Saints winning.
Yeah.
Awesome. Niners at Bears. 2 young quarterbacks facing off.
Yeah.
I have the Niners winning this. I
Same.
think that's kind of an easy pick.
You would think. Week
You
1
would.
does some weird stuff. Remember last year when the Saints came out and destroyed the Packers 38-3? And we were all like, what?
Winston had like 5
He
touchdowns.
had, yeah,
didn't
in
he?
like the
And,
second quarter. It was
I
absurd.
think he had like 7 passes total.
Yeah, it was bad. For San Fran, I'm starting Trey Lance with confidence. Chicago allowed the 6th most fantasy points to quarterbacks and the 2nd most rushing touchdowns to quarterbacks. And we know Lance can run, and pretty sure Shanahan's going to call some rushing quarterback play as options. Kind of same stuff as like with Kaepernick back in the day.
I know that like I guess the Niners are kind of a sexy team, but I feel like there is a lot more excitement in this game for what we want to see coming in this year, mainly with like Ayuk and Mooney and Komet, I would say. I have some Mooney shares. It's kind of a guy I think I like a lot this year.
Yeah,
But I kind of want to see what happens with Ayuk. I mean, I think it's I think that offense, if Lance can sling it around more than Jimmy G could, then I think they could easily have 2 good wide receivers going, especially with Kittle being banged up. It's why I didn't take him. His biggest thing is trying to stay healthy, and he might not be healthy for the game.
Yeah, he's injured. I guess we should have put that in the news, but here it is now. I actually like Ayuk. I think if you have 2 flexes or if you start 3 wide receivers and a flex, he's definitely a guy you can put as a 3rd receiver or a flex. I like him. Everything out of camp tells us that Trey Lance is really connecting with him. That doesn't mean anything as far as like being afraid of Debo. He's still going to get his, but Ayuk might flash this year what we thought he would do last year.
Yeah, Ayuk has to make that connection, or else he won't get any attention because they're going to have Debo mainly.
Either way, it'll help, right? I like Mooney, solid flex plus play. I mean, he had a great year last year. I think people kind of forget what they did last year, or what he did last year. You're not going to sit David Montgomery, but San Fran was in the top 10 against running backs last year. It's going to be a tough day for him. Game script's not going to go his way. And if they involve Khalil Herbert or even, what's his first name? Rookie running back, Ebner. He's like a pass catcher. He might steal some shine in the passing game.
Is it Kyle?
No. No, it's like Travis or something like that.
So Elijah Mitchell, I feel like you kind of have to play with confidence.
Yeah.
Do you think any of the backups there would be worth, because it always happens in San Francisco, would be worth picking up, like even Jeff Wilson?
No, it's a messy situation. You don't know who. You
Is
just
it better
don't know
or
who.
Is it better or worse than the Philadelphia backfield?
I think it's
Not like,
well.
I mean, as far as murkiness goes.
No, I mean I think there's a pretty solid divide of power there. Like Mitchell's the guy until he gets hurt. I don't think that's even a question. It's not even a
Yeah,
question. I mean, this guy runs
I
for over.
agree. I do, but
He's
we've
going to get
seen it
hurt.
happen.
Yeah, I know, but
No, not that. Just them straight up playing somebody else.
it's usually off an injury though.
Yeah,
Like
you're right.
Mostert was dominant, and then he goes down, and it's the next guy in line. We don't know who the next guy in line is. It could be Wilson. It
Right,
could be
right.
Jordan Mason, undrafted guy. Like they're coming out of nowhere.
Next game, Steelers at the Bengals. I think the Bengals completely destroy the Steelers in this game. I just don't think the Steelers can keep up. I feel like the Bengals are going to get ahead and run away.
I'd be pretty shocked if they destroy him. Like
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be. When I should lighten that up because I do think it's gonna be a low scoring game.
okay.
I think they haven't gotten ahead of beyond like 38 or 40 points in their last 7 games.
Yeah, I was
like
just
that.
saying. I feel like 24-13, 28.
But I think
13.
the Bengals, it'll be like 24-10 or 24. Let's say even 0, and they get 13 points on the board somehow.
Okay.
I think they'll just be in control.
I'm with you on the Bengals as well.
I do want to see the Steelers quarterback situation with Trubisky, see how he looks with everybody. Deontay does have a shoulder injury of some sort.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to go along with
If
that.
Deontay doesn't play, are we in on Pickens or no?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I feel like I like him more than Claypool.
I do. I think the difference is going to, like, what will have to happen is he's going to have to be like, I'm an NFL wide receiver now, which he kind of has that mindset already.
I think he thinks he's the best player, so I don't think that's a fear at all. I don't think that's even a mindset that he needs to get into. He's just born into it. I really like Pat Freiermuth this week and pretty much every week. Bengals allowed 12.2 points per game to tight ends in 2021. That was the 7th most, but if it was like half a point more, it would be like the 3rd most. So they're in that range of like, we're not very good against tight ends. So it could be a huge game, like the top guys really carry against, I think last year, his name is Uzama. I think he torched the Steelers in one of the games. So it's like they really can give up big plays there.
And they have Hayden Hurst now?
They do, yeah. So yeah, I said that backwards.
That's okay.
But yeah.
Everybody else, I think you're going to play. I guess the next question mark might be Tyler Boyd for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, I think, should have a good game. Like, I feel like this is going to go well for him. At least consistent, like he did last year.
I think Mixon's like one of the best.
He
starts
destroyed
at
him
running
last
back.
year.
Yeah, and they allowed 21 points per game to running backs last year, the Steelers. Yep. So it's not like I don't think they did a ton to improve on that. They made a couple moves, but like Mixon's good. Their line is that much better this year.
Right.
It's gonna be a nice matchup for him.
I know we have Boyd in one of our leagues because it's because we have JK, right? And we're just not sure, so he's sitting around. Okay, so we might be playing him. I think because the position we're in, he's almost like the 4th wide receiver that we have to play. It's 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. He's our 4th flex. I like that type of situation. I could see a wide receiver 3 situation, but again, like we said, this is not going to be a crazy high-scoring game. So you're kind of relying on getting 1 out of the 3 touchdowns that we know Mixon's going to have 1 of.
Yep.
So it's tricky.
On to the pod team this year.
The faves.
We're going to Detroit. Philly takes on Detroit. As much as I really think Detroit could beat Philly, I think Philly's going to end up winning. They're squeaking one out. They're squeaking it out. I think it's going to be closer than people think.
But they're going to be so sad in Detroit.
Yeah, they probably will.
I think the Eagles win as well. If there is a game I could be wrong on, though, it's probably going to be this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of them like that this week. Like the matchups are really spicy for week 1.
Break down any part.
Miles Sanders. Okay. If you drafted him, I think he's a startable RB2 this week, which I never thought I would say. Detroit allowed the 5th most fantasy points per game to running backs last year. Their D line is a little bit better, adding Aiden Hutchinson. But I still think Sanders is playable here, and Gainwell.
What running back amongst the Eagles will get a touchdown? Like, if you were like, I'm going to put this money on this one, he's for sure going to fall into the end zone.
Gainwell.
Gainwell over Boston Scott?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
They did like Gainwell a lot more in the preseason, so there's a chance he's the guy kind of at the goal line at least.
Yeah, well,
we know Miles Sanders is only in the 20s.
That's what we were told. He's high. What's the word they used? Basically, like intense situations. So they said 2-minute drill, third downs, and goal line work. So that's like all you ever want in fantasy. So we did kind of I know everybody loves Jalen Hurts. You're not sitting Jalen Hurts, but interesting note, last year, Detroit did not allow a single rushing touchdown to quarterbacks.
Wow.
So that's an interesting thing. That's immovable object meets irresistible, unstoppable, whatever you want to call it, force.
Irresistible haircut.
Yeah. Any other, I mean, I think Hawkinson's like a huge DFS play. He's going to be like a middle high tier cost, I think, but I think he could double up his price and points. Philly allowed the 4th most to tight ends last year.
They allowed a lot for running backs as well.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously fine with Swift, but I think Jamal Williams could be a flex play in some leagues if you needed to. He did well last year. I think they still like him based on Hard Knocks, so I don't have a problem with him. I think it's the wide receivers I'm the most interested in seeing what happens. I want to see Amon-Ra St. Brown and how involved he is, and I want to see Devonta Smith and what he has going on, because A.J. Brown is definitely, I think, going to overshadow him, but he shouldn't, as good as he was last year.
Well, A.J. Brown demands
the
ball.
I know.
So, like, just sit on the side. We'll give you some passes here and
there. So, Patriots
Yep.
at your beloved Dolphins.
Beloved. I'm taking Miami.
I am too.
Yeah, there you go. We love them here. We love the Dolphins. We love the Lions. We love the Browns.
Everything I've heard has been about how the Patriots can't figure out their offense.
Yeah, same. Which means they'll put up 50 week 1.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it just came together all of a sudden. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So that could be part of it. I don't.
Yeah.
With the Patriots, Mac Jones, quarterback 2, somewhere, if you're in a 2 QB league, understandable. I don't think I want any interest in their wide receivers, though, except maybe Myers for PPR if you have to.
Yeah. I honestly, I love Ramondre, but I wouldn't really have a part of either of these running backs if I could avoid them. Miami they only allowed the 7th most points last year, and they got even a little bit better on defense. And I think Mike McDaniel and the coordinators he brought in, they're going to run a nice defensive scheme to stop the run. So I'd be a little nervous about that. I agree with you with the pass catchers. I'm not playing anybody except for maybe Hunter Henry.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I mean, Miami's corners are really good. Safeties are really good. Their pass rush is going to be better. I Hunter Henry underneath all day, especially in PPR.
Other side of the ball, Tua, I think, is a better play than Mac Jones.
It's a big test, though. New England they were 4th best against quarterbacks last year.
It is, and Belichick knows how to take out the number 1 weapon, which is Tyreek Hill. So Jalen Waddle is probably going to be awesome this week.
I'll be fascinated to see if he can contain Tyreek Hill, because their secondary is shot this year. They've lost a lot of guys. JC Jackson's gone. Stephon Gilmore's gone. Like, they have not replaced corners that with anything that is, like, I don't know, threatening. So I could see Tua really airing it out, honestly.
I can't remember if it was on air when you said it, but you did say Belichick's losing a step based on his past draft.
I'll say it on air right now. If you look at the last 3 to 4 years of draft picks, he has fumbled the bag every single year. He has not re-signed his good players, and his coaching staff is trash.
Mostert and Edmonds.
Yeah.
I'm bringing up Mostert.
Edmonds is hurt.
Right, but I just looked to set my lineup, and I didn't see the Q next to him anymore. But I saw the same thing, which I don't think we should be surprised that I've purposely overlooked Mostert because I don't want to get hurt again by him. And I don't
Yeah.
want him to get hurt by me drafting him.
It looks like
But
he's going to get carries, though.
I know. I
So,
know.
at least for a small amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be a good explosive mix with
Oh,
agility
yeah.
between him and Edmonds. So if you have Edmonds and he's good to go, I think you're fine playing him.
Yep.
Mostert maybe in a flyer DFS kind of play. Ravens at Jets. Ravens. I got the Ravens winning. I think that they're going to destroy Joe Flacco, which I can't wait to see.
I
I don't. There's probably nobody on that defense that even remembers playing with him, right?
I don't know about that.
I feel like it was just so long ago.
Yeah, but still, his legacy's there. So, um, if I had to bet one single underdog this week, it would be the Jets. The Ravens defense allowed the fourth most
Bad.
points to quarterbacks per game last year and the seventh most to wide receivers last year. Flacco is like he knows what to do with the ball. He's a seasoned vet, obviously, Super Bowl winner. Like, he can get the ball out. I'm not saying they will win, but they're at home.
Right.
They're at home, and they're going to be fired up to play. I'm not that the Ravens aren't, but
would you rather play Elijah Moore or Chase Edmonds?
Elijah Moore. It's not even nearly close, and I'll tell you why. I'm
Breece
extremely
Hall or
high.
Chase Edmonds.
Chase Edmonds, just because I know what
Yep.
not know, but I kind of expect his workload to be more involved.
Yeah, you haven't liked Breece Hall since.
No, I like
out.
him. I think he's going to be, it's going to take some weeks before, but like the first half of the season, I still have him ranked like RB21. Like, he's still high.
I was being sarcastic because I know you love him.
Yeah, I do. And once he actually takes over in the backfield, it's going to be nice. But Elijah Moore last year, he played one game with Flacco. Care to guess the stat line he put up?
8 for 120 and 1.
8 for 141 and 1. Pretty good. So a one game sample was pretty good. So I'm riding with Elijah Moore this week, 1,000%, especially DFS. Otherwise, not interested in a single player on the Jets. You just don't know where it's going to go. Like, Corey Davis could end up having 6 for 80 and 2 touchdowns for no reason. Like, we got to see that play out more.
They have Garrett Wilson, right?
Yeah, he's their rookie, but he's kind of not struggling, but he's kind of he's catching up as a rookie wide receiver. Never would I ever think that I would say this ever again in fantasy world.
Oh, here it is.
Mike Davis, a massive sleeper at running back if JK does not play. I mean, he's going to have all the work pretty much. They just got Kenyon Drake. He's not going to be.
I'm not worried about Drake.
Yeah, so like Mike Davis, here he is again, and the Jets allowed the third most points per game last year to running backs. It's it's unbelievable.
Wait, is anything going on with Lamar's contract?
I don't think so. We would know by now, I think.
Yeah, that's something in the news too. If you guys want listen up, Lamar Jackson said that tomorrow, Friday, is the last chance for him to get the offer he wants. I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to hold out. I don't know why he would, but that's in the news. I'm looking at what Bateman does, because if Bateman struggles at all, I'm picking up Isaiah Likely everywhere.
After 1 week?
Yes.
What if Likely doesn't do anything?
That's unlikely.
I think it's very likely.
No.
I actually do think I think he's not going to do anything. I mean,
I know. I'm just watching it because if Bateman doesn't do something, they got to, like, Lamar can pass.
Yeah,
he's had 400-yard games. Like, he's got to find somebody.
I can let me put an asterisk on him doing nothing, because he could easily come in when they're on the 5-yard line and have two catches for 10 yards and a touchdown. Like, that could happen, but I wouldn't be betting on it at all. Otherwise, I have no interest in any other player in this game whatsoever. Yep. Although I do have my eye on Devin Duvernay, not in any other way other than seeing he may be the wide receiver too if he's involved at all.
Jags at the Manders.
This one's a hard one for me.
I'm saying the Jags win.
They were both really well. Washington made the playoffs last year, but like they're not great teams. Neither one of them. You're saying the Jags. I'm saying Washington.
Yeah. I like Christian Kirk.
That's you. Repeat that. Sorry.
I like Christian Kirk this week.
Yeah. What do you like about
general,
him? What do you like about him? Tell me. His eye color.
When he catches the ball. And then he signs it and gives it to me.
Yeah, I will say Washington not terrific on defense last year, but I do think they're a lot more healthy. The pass rush will be better, but I like Kirk as well. I think Lawrence is a good play. Streamable, good quarterback 2 or DFS. Washington allowed the 7th most points per game to quarterbacks in 2021. But again, if you got Chase Young and the guys chasing you, no pun intended.
Is he playing? Chase Young.
I thought he was.
I did too. I thought he was
now you got me questioning.
Projected to play, but I don't know if they gave any word on it yet.
Well, either way, I think overall health is better there, even without Chase Young.
I could see Lawrence being somebody people have stashed on their bench just to see what happens, and he works out for you. Yeah, I think this year could be much better for him. Evan Ingram's always somebody you can try in DFS, but I also think he has a little bit of potential.
There are 4,000 better tight ends to play than Evan Ingram. Don't do that.
I'm actually watching Jahan Dotson.
Yeah.
But he's on some waiver wires too, I'm sure. You guys could pick him up right before the game start just to see what happens. For Antonio Gibson, make sure you check out the 13 carry rule, which is basically, I don't know how to explain that easy.
Because it's a faulty.
It is.
It's a faulty.
It is.
Stat.
Supposedly on like these mid-range quarterbacks is what AJ and I are trying to use it. Running back, sorry.
By the way, before you continue, mid-range does not apply to Antonio Gibson where he was going.
I know it doesn't. But what else should I say then?
Well, that's what it is. So this really doesn't apply to him. But if you have somebody that has the expectation of having a workload and being worthy of playing in fantasy, your hope is to see them get. Was it carries or touches total?
Carries.
Okay, so that's dumb to me too. I hate that. Like ETN this week could have 6 carries, but he could have 11 receptions, and I would want him.
If that happens, then yes, I think it's touches. I'm gonna guess it's touches.
I think it was carries how they said it, but anyway, the stat goes if it's 13 carries week 1, they generally go on to have a very good fantasy season. There are exceptions to the rule, which I gladly pointed out. Like off the top of my head, I had 3 guys. But it also depends what you think is a good year in fantasy. Like a guy could have 600 yards and be good if he did it all in the last 7 games of the season, like Rashad Penny did.
True.
Like you know what I mean? Like so that's where the weirdness to that thing is, but generally yes, we want guys to have carries. We want them to touch the ball as much as possible.
I'll have to find it because then I saw one for tight ends. I think if they're in 23% of the plays or more, they're going to typically have a decent year, and then wide receivers were
23%. That seems low.
Catches, I think. But who knows?
ETN.
Yeah.
If you have him, you're playing him. But Washington allowed the most receiving touchdowns to running backs last year. Just want to point it out. And Gibson, tough week for Gibson. I actually have him as an RB2. And Jacksonville was really good against the run. They're like surprisingly good in front 7. Secondary's better too this year. So,
Josh Allen.
Yeah, there you go. And Trayvon Walker. And Zach Moss just fumbled. So, oh no, that's James Cook. Have fun on the bench, buddy. He might have been down.
Moss.
He might have been down.
Browns at Panthers. I got the Panthers winning this. I think Baker. I put in my notes that he shines with DJ Moore, and I also called for DJ Moore to be my player of the week or whatever. What were we calling that?
Blow the top off.
Blow the top
I didn't even know we were doing that. You should have told me.
I didn't either. I just threw it in here because I put 2 touchdowns with DJ Moore. So I'm calling
2 touchdowns. Wow, that would be
more than
shocking.
He's had in like any year.
Baker never singles out a receiver ever.
I'm saying that
if he singles out DJ Moore, like all year, DJ Moore will
Oh,
be a
he'll be
top
so
five.
good.
He'll be a
So
top
good.
5 wide receiver. But Baker does not do that. I would be pretty shocked.
But I'm saying, I think Baker looks good,
Hmm.
but not like, oh, he's a top 16 quarterback all of a sudden. Just like this is what he looks like in a system that works with him, or how I don't know, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
Compared to what he looked like for the Browns, Browns fans get all sad. It's a terrible thing.
Well, did you
CMC
see
is
his T-shirt?
no.
Unleash it said unleash, or what did it say? Off the leash, and it has his head. Matt Stafford just
Oh,
threw a
come
pick.
on.
What's up? Off the leash,
Come on.
yeah. So when I first saw that, I literally didn't think anything of it with the Browns. I was just like, oh yeah, he's gonna have like freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. And then I was like, that son of a bitch. What a great marketing plan. Because I saw his other shirt. It has him like a cartoon version of him, and it looks sick with like the Carolina colors. I do think
Myles Garrett, I think he said too about Baker, that Baker texted him, was like, thanks for all the time when we worked together. Is really
really. I didn't even hear
like
that.
a good time being your teammate or something like that.
I saw
And
Baker say.
Garrett was like, yeah, I didn't say anything back.
I saw Baker said he would really, really love a hug from Nicholas Chubb. so go. I'm all for Baker doing well.
Yeah.
And if the Browns
You
have
have
to
the-
lose, they have to lose. I have the Panthers winning.
Thought so.
They are favored, I think, by like 2.5 points. Which earlier it was like a week and a half ago, it was Browns by 2. So people are really betting on the Panthers to make them favorites now. So the Browns will probably end up winning. I'm a little low on Chubb. I know you're not going to sit him by any means, but Carolina was good against running backs last year. Third.
Their defense is so
Their
good.
defense is so good. Nobody's talking about them at all. If you can go pick them up, like especially if you can afford to carry 2 defense, maybe you like drafted one high, like San Fran or whoever, go stick
Yep.
Panthers on your bench as a second defense if you don't like the matchup. You're highly drafted one.
What's going on with Hunt? Talking about Chubb. Is
No
Hunt just-
clue. I think he's
Okay.
I think he's going to be involved as usual, but
Yeah.
we haven't heard
I
anything.
haven't heard he's sitting out, but I also haven't heard he's just content.
No, he's not sitting out, so I would assume he's playing.
Okay.
That's play at your own risk. You gotta. I mean, we look and read and hear everything we can, but we're not NFL insiders, so you guys are gonna have to check like the Twitter
Yeah.
or ESPN and see what's going on.
Amari
I'm
Cooper.
actually low on DJ Moore this
Why?
week. He's gonna be
Is it Ward?
Yeah, he's going to be followed around by Ward most of the time. And the Browns were 4th best against wide receivers in 2021. But if anybody knows what to do to beat them, it's probably Baker. So you can't really stop DJ Moore, but a 5 for 65 would be a success for the Browns.
That's a very normal stat line for him.
For a game where he doesn't do anything, like it's still like 11
Yeah.
points in fantasy, and you're like, wow, he sucked, but he still gave me points. Like that would be a win for the Browns. What were you going to say about Cooper?
I was just going to ask, what do you think about him performing? I know he's against the tough D. Their corners are decent.
So
I don't think I could play him this week.
I think you can. I mean, it's you who always preaches and yells at me for saying wide receiver 2s over wide receiver 1s, and Cooper is the wide receiver 1, and it's abundantly clear. There's nobody even close to his skill level there.
Right.
So I think
Njoku.
he's a flex at
Okay.
least, especially in like a bigger league if you have the 3 receivers in a flex. I mean, obviously, if you only have like 2 receivers and 1 flex, you probably won't be playing him. I would keep him at bay, but Brissett he's going to get the. I mean, he played some games with the Dolphins last year, and Waddle was fine. Like Cooper can get the ball at the line of scrimmage and get 8 to 10 yards. He's really good after the ball.
Yeah, he can.
After catching the ball, so like, you can play him at
see.
the flex. It is a hard defense he's facing though. Little bit of
Go ahead.
no, you go.
I was just going to say, I'm playing Njoku with no problem.
Yeah, me too.
I think Brissett really focused on his tight ends back in the day, so I see
Mm-hmm.
that happening again.
Yeah, I think he's actually a kind of sneaky tight end play. I was stuck getting him real late, and I feel kind of fine about it, actually. On the other side at tight end, Tommy Tremble,
Oh,
quiet, sneaky, super sneaky play. Browns allowed the 8th most points per game to tight ends last year. And I can tell you from experience the last 3 years, it may have been mostly the offense, but Baker loves throwing to his tight ends because they're tall and he can see them. I'm not
sees
kidding.
him
Like
over top.
he does. He goes to the tight end, especially in the red zone. So
Colts at Texans. I have the Colts winning this one as normal. JT shows us why he's the number 1 overall pick there for fantasy football. I think Dameon Pierce struggles, but I understand why people are going to play him, and I think Pittman's going to do just fine.
yeah, I have the Colts as well. I'm with you on Pierce. I like his prospects for the year. This is a tough draw out of the gate for the rookie running back. Indy was number 1 against running backs last year. And Shaquille Leonard, not Darius, don't call him Darius. He is playing, and that guy leads the league in tackles like every year. His pursuit, his speed is unbelievable against running backs. So there's going to be people that have to play him, and that's fine. He may score a touchdown. I think he's really just going to get early down work to start the year. And then once they start trusting him in pass protection, he'll get third down duties too. But I think Burkhead gets a lot of pass opportunities. Pierce was really good in college pass blocking, so he just had to show them at the NFL level he can do it, and he'll be a 3-down back, which is so the Pierce pick will pay off, but probably not this week. For Houston, also, I think Nico Collins is a sleeper, like a DFS sleeper, especially. Indy allowed the second most points to wide receivers last year, and he's going to take a nice. He's one of those guys. He's way below the pecking order that everybody talks about, second-year breakouts, Darnell Mooney, Rashad Bateman, guys like that. I think Nico Collins deserves to be at least discussed in that, but people don't talk about him because he's with Davis Mills as opposed to some other quarterbacks.
I was going to say, even that, when you think about that, Elijah Moore broke out last year.
Elijah Moore,
broke out in a way, and his quarterbacks were all over the place.
Yeah.
Davis Mills is a little bit more consistent.
He was playing with Mike White.
Right.
He gave Mike White a 400-yard game.
Giants at Titans, I think, is really a cool name for like a new sci-fi movie or something.
Titans.
Yeah.
Attack on the Giant Titans.
I have the Titans winning this game.
I think this could be a close one, though. Don't you feel that way?
Yeah, I could see that.
It feels like an ugly game to watch, I think.
I feel like Burke, I almost call him Burke. I think Burks looks good this game.
You do?
Yeah, I think he's like, that's my wild card, that he's going to surprise us all and just be like, hey, I'm here. I know how to play football.
Hello, I can breathe.
Yeah, his asthma's not bothering him.
I have the Titans as well. I do think this will be very ugly. I don't know what the spread on it is, but if it's above like 5, I would put the money on the Giants covering.
It is Tennessee -5.5.
Oh, what do you know? I'm taking the Giants points 1,000%.
43 over under.
Yeah, that's about right. Daniel Jones, streamable. Also DFS play. Tennessee allowed the second most rushing touchdowns to quarterbacks last year, and we know how Daniel Jones likes to run the rock.
He likes to fumble it occasionally, too.
Yeah, when his head gets knocked off, yeah, for sure. It's a tough draw for Saquon. First week, Tennessee was really good against running backs last year, but they are susceptible in the passing game. I know you say nobody ever passes to Barkley since Eli was there. I think Daboll absolutely plans for that to be a part of his game plan, is getting Saquon the ball out of the backfield in the passing game. So you're not going to sit Saquon. Like you spend a third round pick on him. You start him. It's just a tough matchup to start with. And for Tennessee, I'm literally not. I would not play anyone except for Derrick Henry. Like I would.
You wouldn't play Woods?
No.
Not even in full PPR?
No.
Wow.
There's better options.
I'm okay with that.
You have Woods, right?
I wouldn't play Burks. I'm in one league.
Are you playing him?
Yeah. I believe so.
I need to see that lineup for you to have to play him.
Let me look this.
Yeah. Tell us now. Is it our league?
No, I think it's Kev's.
Okay. I should have said Kevin's league. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
What are your
plenty of them.
bench options?
Ramondre,
And
James Robinson, Julio Jones, Rondale Moore.
I think if you'd play Julio Jones over Russell Gage, you would play him over Robert Woods. 30 years old off an ACL tear on a new team that doesn't throw a lot. Come on.
What about? I kind of like Rondale Moore, to be honest with you.
Is he playing? I know he's
He
been
has a
hurt.
few.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. I guess
does play.
if you have to as a second flex, Robert Woods is playable, I guess.
Yeah, as a second flex.
I wouldn't play him as a second
I'm
flex.
just waiting on some things. Like I'm just waiting on Ramondre,
Yeah.
which I could kind of even see playing him.
Yeah.
Gallup is gonna come back. James Robinson.
Mm,
Who knows? Like I want to know what's gonna happen. I think.
I got you. I'm just trying. I'm talking
I
to
don't
the
know.
people,
I don't
man.
know. I don't know.
I'm,
Listen, I don't have all the answers over here, man. Okay.
I'm talking to the people. Listen, look for better options, but if you have to, play Robert Woods. PPR, he's always been reliable in that fashion. So
That's my only thing I'm leaning on.
But he's always been in
Julio,
a
though.
he's
But
been
I
in a
do like
high
Julio with Godwin out.
over. Yeah, we're aware.
So
Let's go
we'll see.
to Minnesota,
Packers
which may be
at Vikings.
our new favorite pod team to compete. It's funny they're in the same division as Detroit.
That's true. Yeah,
Wow,
it's the
like-
colors. They're just such good blue and purple.
Yeah, I like purple.
I do too.
Not
I
much
use
to say. I
purple.
mean, literally start all your guys from both of these teams that you would normally start. If you want me to talk about a specific person, I think you absolutely. If you're questioning AJ Dillon, put him in your lineup. At least
you
at
should,
flex.
man.
Some people, they're
Flex
flex.
for sure.
Yeah. But Minnesota was very middle of the road against running backs. I think he's going to be heavily involved. Last year in the second half of the year, Dillon averaged 3 more carries a game than Aaron Jones. He got like all the goal line work. He's a huge play every week. I think you can play him flex worst case.
AJ Dillon or Damian Pierce.
Dillon easily.
What about or Chase Edmonds?
Dillon.
Christian Kirk. AJ Dillon.
PPR.
Yes.
That's a close one. Kirk. Who are they playing? Washington. I might go Kirk there, but I'd have a hard time sitting AJ Dillon.
There's like scores on my fantasy app. It's so fun to see.
I like Cousins in this matchup quite a bit. Green Bay allowed the second most points to quarterbacks last year. Cousins is going to air it out this year with Kevin O'Connell calling the plays. It's going to be really nice. But
Irv Smith, I would lean away from. He's the only one I think with the Vikings.
Typical guys, though. I mean, you're playing Jefferson, you're playing Thielen, you're playing Cook. I probably wouldn't play Madison. I want to see him actually get work in a shared backfield before I believe they're going to do it.
I think my next question would be KJ Osborne, if anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him yet.
If Irv Smith's not going to be involved, then KJ has a chance to be DFS style of a play. But yeah. And then the Packers, you're going to play Lazard.
Well, he might not play.
Oh,
he's hurt. So
you're going to play Romeo Dobbs.
No, you're going to play. You know who you're going to play?
The Lizard
It's
King.
week 1, baby. Sammy Watkins. Hey, he said he's feeling terrific. So whatever that means.
He's always felt fine.
Well, until he doesn't.
Doesn't
and he
play
hurts
fine.
his toe. Yeah. I can't trust any Green Bay pass catchers not named Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. I know Tunyon. Like, if you want to take,
do you have the Vikings winning this game?
Yeah, absolutely.
Same.
Green Bay's good though. Like, their defense could force a couple interceptions and they could win the game that way and just run the ball. But I like Minnesota to open hot. Green Bay opened so slow last year. We just talked about it earlier with New Orleans smashing them. I think Green Bay needs to sort it out. They don't. Maybe we need to see it sorted out. Maybe they have it sorted out. We don't know yet.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
We'll see. Let's go to the next one. Kansas City at Arizona.
Yes, sir.
Where are you going with that one?
I got the Chiefs winning.
Chiefs,
I think the Cardinals are kind of struggling with their
injuries.
So I don't know. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going Chiefs too.
With CEH, I also am looking at that 13 carry role. Like, he's one of the guys in that area. Would you agree with that?
No,
Why?
because of where you draft him. Are you expecting that? Like, I would expect.
He was in
He'd
running
be
back dead
right
zone.
around 13, I guess. He's like at the end of the dead zone though, like 6th round.
If he gets less than 13, my thought is he's going to have like 500 yards and 5 touchdowns on the year.
I think he'll have more yards than, well, rushing maybe 500 yards, but I think total yardage would be more than that. And
Who is your money on for the wide receiver for the Chiefs at the end of the game?
I
guess
guess
Kelsey.
I guess Juju.
Okay.
I have him in a league, but I'm not in love with him.
I'm not either. I hate it because
I
like
actually
him.
So crazy enough, this specific game, I think MVS might catch a bomb, but Mahomes literally came out and said that about the receivers. He's like, "Sorry, fantasy guys, it's going to be a different guy every week. It's not just Travis and Juju." Like, or okay, well, whatever you say, Patrick. On Arizona's side, I actually like Connor a lot. I think he's like a top 10 running back in this matchup. Kansas City, they don't do a great job against running backs, and I think Arizona might want to try to play slow because of their receiver situation instead of like playing as fast paced as they usually do. But I mean, you're going to start Connor at your RB2 or 1 wherever you took him. Sneak
the typical people for the Cardinals, I think. Brown.
Yeah. Well, is Brown playing?
Is Ertz playing?
I know. They're so hurt.
Rondale playing?
They're so hurt. Check their injury report where they all got Qs, but if nobody's playing, like literally, I think Moore's not going to play for the Cardinals, Rondale. I don't think Hollywood's going to play. Hopkins is out. I don't think he's playing. I thought he was hurt. I don't know. You got to check the injury report. Not you, but listeners. Either way, they're so down at wide receiver. AJ Green might be a sneaky PPR play. Like, he's the only one left standing at this point, and you got to throw to somebody. So, that's where I'm at there.
Same. Trying to find Marquise Brown. I don't want to see a ton of people in their replies on Twitter. I just want to know. Whatever.
Don't check Twitter. Just check the injury report before the game. Have a backup plan.
Moving on to the Raiders at Chargers.
The Chargers.
Of the Chargers winning. I think it's going to be a great game. I feel like Adams, I think he's going to struggle. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be like Devontae Adams because he's,
You just had 3 different emotions within 1 second.
I know. I felt them all too. It was a whirlwind. Like, I think he's going to be like a typical wide receiver as far as stat line goes, but I think the Chargers D kind of stifles the Raiders in a way.
Okay. I don't believe J.C. Horn is playing, or J.C. Jackson is playing in this game. So that's one less corner for the Chargers to put against Devontae. I have literally zero fears playing Devontae Adams. Not like you're gonna sit him,
right?
But I would expect big things from him. Carr, I think, is a solid streamer, DFS play. A lot of people didn't pick him to be their QB1. Chargers allowed the 5th most points per game to quarterbacks in 21. However, they did remedy that quite a bit. They got Khalil Mack. Joey Bosa's healthy. The pass rush is going to be insane, at least for this game, if they're going to get hurt. But again, the corner, they're missing their number. I guess he'd be their number 1 corner. They spent a ton to get him. So that's a big deal. For Vegas, man, I don't know. Like,
I have in my notes, Josh Jacobs looks bad, and people think about dropping him after this week.
See, I feel like he's a good floor play. Like, I think he has a safe floor, but not a big ceiling whatsoever.
Yeah.
The Chargers, again, they allowed the 2nd most points to running backs last year. Like, they weren't a good defense. They definitely addressed it, but I don't know how much they addressed the run defense.
Yeah. So I also have that Eckler, Williams, and Keenan Allen will all get a touchdown too.
Whoa!
I know.
You're doubting a Bill Belichick coaching tree defense? That's unbelievable, man. Can't believe this. Funny enough that you say that, Las Vegas last year was third against wide receivers. They had the third fewest points to
Well,
wide. They gave up the third fewest. It's a new year, I know, but
yeah,
I just
it's
thought
a
that
new
was
me.
interesting.
I know it. I do like looking back at those things, but then I'm also it's so hard to rely on
Well, yeah, and it's a new
like what they
coach.
did
They have a whole
exactly.
different
Yeah, that
defensive
too.
scheme. Like it might not even look the same, so they could
It
get torched.
could go from 3-1. You never know.
Yeah, or 3-31.
Yeah. Bucks at Cowboys. I actually have the Cowboys winning this.
I have Tampa winning.
I think that's the only one we're not agreeing on.
No, we didn't agree on Washington.
Oh, okay.
Um,
That's it then. Jags. You had the Washington.
yeah, that's
one. Yeah, I
Washington.
think that's the
Yeah,
only one.
yeah, that is. I think it is. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I have the
Wow.
Cowboys winning. I think the Bucks look kind of rough without their full line there, and if Godwin isn't there, obviously that's going to add to that. I think Brady looks fine, but I just think he looks a little more flustered because if you're ever going to take him out, it's through his line collapsing and him getting sacked.
Wow.
So,
Well, if
like, I'm not calling the demise by saying that.
no,
of
no,
Tom Brady, but
I
some people will take it that way.
I can't stop saying wow now. So, um,
Wow.
if Bill Belichick is kind of losing a step, I think this offseason Tom Brady's like losing himself. He's like having a midlife crisis. He's about to have a divorce. Like, is football the only thing he's going to have? If so, he's probably going to be like God tier on that field.
And
It
his
doesn't.
TikTok account.
Well, it's pretty good, by the way.
It is.
He's-
It's real good.
he never had any social media, and then he got on Twitter, and he became likable. He was like funny. He would respond. He'd be like, he would. I remember him responding to like Eli Manning about his Super Bowl rings and like Peyton, and he's pretty funny. We're both obviously we've already talked about Russell Gage versus Julio Jones. They might both be good. Who knows? Either way, take your pick. I think one of them has to be good. If Godwin is not playing, I just happen to think that it is Gage, and you think it's Julio Jones. Cooper Kupp just made a ridiculous touchdown catch. That was gross.
Oh my god.
New Year, same shit. How do you feel about Pollard in this game? I know everybody's gonna play Zeke, so
I think it's fine. I think when a defensive line is as strong as it is, like the Bucks, I think that Pollard can be the guy to just like go out into the flat and catch a touchdown, or not a touchdown, but just catch the ball and go for a first down or get a good chunk.
funny you say that because Tampa did allow the 5th most receiving yards and the 2nd most receiving touchdowns to running backs last year.
Funny you say that.
So
I think Zeke could do the same thing. I think
right.
Pollard,
If that's the thing too, is if McCarthy is going to involve Pollard like we've seen around the interwebs, he could go off in this game. He could take a screen 72 yards for a touchdown, and he'd be a valuable play.
even if he doesn't, though, last year Zeke struggled week 1. Like, he looked bad. He looked like, oh, Zeke lost the step for sure, and then he was fine all year. So I do expect him to struggle a little bit, though, when it comes to just running straight up the gut.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope they won't really call those plays for him.
Right.
He's just, I mean, he can run between the tackles, but he's better outside using his speed. Outside of that, you're playing your normal guys, and start your starters.
You're looking at Jalen Tolbert and seeing if he does anything.
Yeah,
Like Schultz,
or
CD.
James Washington. People
Yeah.
keep forgetting about him. They signed him. So,
I thought he got hurt.
did he?
I'm pretty sure he like tore his ACL.
Maybe he
Something
did.
big. But I don't know. You might be. I don't know. Yeah. Other than that, that's that. I can't wait to see Julio or Gage next week.
Yeah, I think he did get hurt. Julio
I
and
thought-
Gage.
Yeah. So Broncos at Seahawks. I have the Broncos winning and just doing really good, just doing well.
Dude.
I think it is a little bit more of the run game we see though than the pass game,
Okay.
because I think that I believe the Seahawks were pretty bad against everything really.
They were
But-
the worst against running backs last year.
Yeah, so I feel like they just run the ball down their throat, and we see a little bit of Russ this week, and it's a little bit of a letdown. But I don't know. It is prime time.
How could it be a letdown if you're letting Javonte Williams run wild? I think he is going to decimate
Right,
Seattle,
right.
and it's
If
going to
you're
look
hoping for
so
Russ-
nice. We'll see about that. With the way they're not going to 50-50 split the Broncos. So I
Right.
do believe Melvin Gordon would have some flex appeal. But we'll see how it goes. We're going to see the share of carries that
I'm
they
starting
have
to
set
I'm
up.
starting to lean more 60-40 to Javonte.
That's where I already was. I'm
Yeah.
leaning like 70-30 at this point.
Oh damn.
Javonte's amazing.
He is. I agree.
How can you not how could they not?
I think Gordon's the insurance policy.
I agree. I think the same thing.
Yeah.
But who knows? What I'm seeing on this screen right now is Darrell Henderson getting every freaking carry for the Rams.
Let's
It's pretty
go.
crazy.
Good sleeper.
Receivers, me and Alan have gone back and forth trying to figure out who the lead dog is going to be in this receiving core. We're kind of on the Sutton train, but for this specific matchup, I think Judy would be the guy that. Well, I think he'll outdo Sutton.
I think they're both going to look good, and then they confuse us even more.
Well, Russ can't not do anything, and them both look good now. Come on. You said you were going to be disappointed because Russ isn't going to
That's
do
true.
much, so how could they both
That's
be?
true.
I mean,
but not that he's going to struggle, just that they're not going to try to use
right.
the passing attack a lot.
Well, anyway, I prefer Judy to Sutton in this specific matchup because I do think Judy's going to be kind of used all over the place, whereas Sutton is definitely a more downfield threat for Russ. Seattle allowed the 8th most receptions, but the 3rd fewest touchdowns to wide receivers. So it seemed like they just let everything stay in front of them and didn't let anything go deep. So that's why I like Judy.
Wow.
I think Judy gets peppered more than Sutton does. I think Sutton's like a big chunk play guy.
Is Alberto a thing or not?
We're gonna find out.
I know.
Where their other tight end that they wanted to play got hurt, so it's his
I know.
job now.
Back to
Seattle allowed the 3rd most points per game to tight ends last year, and we'll see. Alberto may be going deep down the seam, getting a touchdown this week. For Seattle, is there anybody? Like, do you even want to play anybody from Seattle? I know you're gonna have to play Metcalf if you took him.
Metcalf, yeah. Penny, I could see.
See,
as a flex.
I have sitting Penny. Denver allowed the 4th fewest rushing touchdowns last year to running backs.
I just think there's some places where people are going to have to, and that's I'm okay with.
The game
Penny
script
over-
is going to be rough, I think, for him, unless they're going to run the ball
Could
when
be.
they're down by like
There
21.
could be a lot of dump offs for him too, though.
He doesn't catch the ball though. He has like 19 career receptions.
What?
Yeah, it's
Who's
like
gonna catch it
super
there?
low.
Travis Homer?
Dallas.
Dallas?
Travis Homer. Well, I think they wanted Ken Walker to do that, but who knows if
Womp
he's
womp.
even playing. Travis Homer and DJ Dallas are still in that backfield. I guess DJ Dallas would be the receiving back because I think Homer's
Yeah.
kind of like the early down guy when people get hurt.
Do you want me to read those bets off?
Yeah, let's hear them.
Okay. Bob's bets. He has the Jags.
What's going on? Something's going on with your mic. Did it shut off? Sounds like you're going through the webcam.
Let me see.
There you go. That's better.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
It
might have been a little unplugged.
Yeah.
So he has the Jags plus 2.5 at Washington. He has Pittsburgh plus 6.5 at Cincinnati. Kansas City minus 6 at Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay minus 1.5 at Minnesota.
Mm-mm.
And New England at Miami, giving Miami the minus 3.5.
So we disagree with him on Minnesota, and I
As
disagree.
normal.
Yeah, and I disagree with Jacksonville because I picked Washington. Although Washington
Right.
could still win by like 1, and that would be fine for him. So
Right.
I like
Right.
him. I think we can parlay him. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah. Let's parlay that for sure.
Yeah,
I love on Sundays I get all my flips ready and my teams while I'm bowling. It's such a magical thing.
It's all about the morning routine.
Yeah.
Week 1 wrapped up. Take us home, dude.
Double A Fantasy Football.